When dealing with speaking microphones, there are usually two types that we use, either a handheld or a headset. So I'm going to show you some proper mic etiquette with those. First of all, a handheld microphone. These are great because you can use these very versatilely. They can move around, switch between one speaker to another speaker. So we really like these. But it's really important that you teach your speaker how to use it appropriately. A handheld quite simply works by holding it in your hand and speaking into the mic. Here are a couple of the problems that people usually use, people run into. Number one is that they hold it down next to their stomach. This sounds horrible because we're not trying to mic your belly button, we're trying to mic your voice. So we ask people to move their microphone up, 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 up until they can hear it appropriately in the microphone. Number two is that people will oftentimes hold the microphone to the side. This is not where the microphone is trying to listen. This is where the microphone is trying to listen. Number three is distance. That there's an ideal place. Some people try to speak into the mic from way out here, and of course you can't hear it well. Some people will try to eat the mic, and this isn't good either. I usually like to say that 2 fingers away is the appropriate spot to hold a microphone. With that said, if you are singing and you're not the primary singer, this is of course a way to actually turn up or down the volume of your voice on purpose. So there's a time and a place and a reason to hold the microphone further away from your face. Finally, there's a proper place to hold the microphone. I'm holding it right here in the center, but if you can see this knob right here, this thing that's coming out right here, this is the antenna of the microphone. And sometimes people will hold the microphone here. And what's happening is that your hand is stopping the signal from going out to the microphone. And if your microphone is far enough away from the receiver, it's possible that this will make the microphone stop working. So always tell people to hold it right in the center. The other type of wireless transmitter is the Bodypack Transmitter. There are a lot of different ways to use this. It has a little spot in here in which you can screw in a device. One way to use this would be to connect this into a 1/4-inch cable, and that can plug directly into your guitar or another instrument, which makes you have a wireless guitar or a wireless instrument. But the more common way to use this would be to connect this to a headset or a hearset or a lavalier. Here are a couple of examples of that. This would be an example of a headset microphone. It goes over the ears behind, and the microphone sits right here, close to my mouth. There are a couple of things that you should be mindful about here, is that the line of the microphone should land with the line of your mouth. It doesn't work as well if it's up here. It doesn't work as well if it's down here. It doesn't work as well if it's out here. It should be right here. And of course, if you have a beard, this might be a problem too. This would be an example of a ear set that it wraps around my ear and is a low profile microphone. We like these especially in the theater where we don't want to see the microphone. So a small microphone like this is less obtrusive and less noticeable. These can be tricky too. Again, you want to make sure that it's not far away from your face, it's close to your face. Sometimes people will put body tape right here, so clear tape to hold it to your microphone. So when they're moving around and acting, we don't get jostling around and around and around and around. Of course, because it's further away from my mouth, it sounds different. So there's a little balance. Finally, I would also say that with any ear set or headset, we want to be mindful about the cable going to the back. This can be another tricky bit right here, that the body pack, this should be somewhere around your belt. It usually has a little clip right here. Some people will try to put it in their pocket. That doesn't necessarily work. Some people, especially when acting, will put this in the back behind their body. The problem with that is that the signal needs to go through your body. So you need to make sure that you're not going to run into signal issues. But if you do, sometimes I like to say put it on the side of your hip. Means that it's not in the way that you don't see it in the front of the person, but it also doesn't have to get the signal through the body itself. Here's another example of a head-worn microphone. You'll notice that this one is actually a different color, which is a very important to note. If you have a venue in which you have a lot of people, different people coming in, different speakers, like we do at our chapel, you should be mindful about getting different color microphone headsets. This will allow the skin color of the person to be able to match this skin color of the microphone. This is a Countryman microphone, so it sounds a little bit cleaner than some of the other ones. Countryman is a great brand of wireless headset and microphone. Finally, we have a wireless lavalier, or a Lav Mic. Lav Mic is how it's spelled. These clip to your clothes right here, or a tie. These don't sound quite as good in my opinion, which is why we've moved to the headset model, but they're not quite as obtrusive of here. One of the big problems with a Lav Mic is that unless you're facing forward the entire time, you might, as a person turns their head, lose the sound of their voice. And then it comes back when you face forward, and again you lose the sound of their voice. I've seen these used oftentimes in weddings where the groom or the bride doesn't want that up here. You can hide it on the groom's lapel. Or sometimes that I've seen these hidden inside of a prop microphone, a fake microphone, so it sounds like it's a real microphone even though it's not.